Hi, Sheena here. So I'm going to do this as concisely, but for me, you know what that's like, but as clearly as possible, because it's called Stamp and Play, and the stamp bit is quite explanatory. We've been there, done that if you're a stamper. If not, we'll explain. But the play bit, what's that all about? I'm going to tell you. So if you have a look at the stamps, I'll be able to take you through what you're going to get, and then I'll show you why. So if we look on the overhead and see what you're looking at now to see what this is all about. So what we've got are the stamp sets. I've got 3 stamp sets in this whole, in the launch. There's papers and the stencils to come too. But let me take you through, first of all, what the stamps are about. You've got what you would normally get is a detailed stamp, a drawn stamp, a detailed butterfly. That's, if you follow me, if you know what kind of style you're going to get, that's what you're going to be used to. But look, there's another thing going on here. What's that? And what's this? They're what I'm calling the wire frame. I'm going to show you why they're really cool. They're the play bit. There's the stamp bit in the chrysanth, and there's the play bit in that. And then with the sunflower, the detailed, shaded. So really, you can just stamp this with a little bit of distressing, a damp brush, and you've got everything going on there. One colour looks amazing. You got your cute little bee, as it is the day of the bee, then and a smaller version, so foreground distance. And there's the wireframe with that. So let me take you through why and what that's all about. So if we look at this in the chrysanth, if you stamp and just stamp it with one coloured ink and colour it in, this is what we'd expect. This is the level of detail and shading and contouring I would want you to get, and that's what I try to give you with my stamps. So there's hatching there. You see where it's darker in here? It tells you put a little bit darker colour in there, but it'll do it automatically for you. It'll make it darker at the base of those petals because I've put the detail in there. I've put the lines. So then you think, oh, lovely embossing powders. I've bought myself a few. I've treated myself recently. I'm going to give it a bit of the embossing treatment. So you put your embossing powders on, and then you get something that looks similar to that. Now that's pretty and it's blingy, look, ooh, but it doesn't have the depth in the contouring that one does. Look at how 3D that looks. Look at the shadow on it. Look at it. It's got shape and form. That one, not so much. Again, blingy, but not so much. And what's happened is, if you look at these little bits in here, you've literally embossed everything, including the bits that really shouldn't be embossed. They're supposed to be pushed back. Lines in the stamp are supposed to create a shadow, a look of shadow. Here it said, look at me, I've got even more bling than the other bits. So what you would do is stamp it the first time with this one. Stamp it, colour it in. And this is just the first thing you can do with Stamp and Play. Then you go over the top with your wireframe. So this one here, there, in your positioner, and you ink it up with some Versamark or whatever embossing ink you use, and then you emboss it with your bling, and look, you now get the best of both worlds. You've got the shading, you've got the contouring, but you've got that lovely bit of bling and the pop. It looks kind of like threaded, that expensive, like posh and gold thread fabric or something, with full colour, just where you want it to be. That there, straight away, that's the first thing we're talking with Stamp and Play. But let's take it further. We've got stencils into the mix here. We've had a bit play with the background. We've got a bit funky with the colour. But even if you don't want that obvious gold or silver edging, what I've done here is use a glittery embossing powder, and it's given it a fine, lovely glimmer. Much more detailed and delicate than I would have done if I'd applied it with glue, because it's applied it just to the edge of the petals, because that's what the wireframe's done with your embossing powder. Then the other thing with Stamp and Play is you can stamp out the basic image and then have a bit of a play and create the lines, make the lines look like faux stitching, give it a little bit of that a little quirky effect. We've got zigzag stitching here, we've got a little knot types, we've got a running stitch. Have a play with it, that's the play. Let me show you how. That's my little card to show you, but look, here we go. In card form, this gorgeous, gorgeous card here that Kay's created. If I bring this up, she's done faux stitching in here, even on the backing papers. But look how she's given this the treatment with a little faux stitching around the outside and had a bit of play with that. Looks really super cool. The other thing she's done here is with that one, look, isn't that gorgeous card? Papers we're going to talk about in a minute. Look at what she's done here, little swirlies. How cool is that? This is the play bit. So by giving you that wireframe stamp, I've given you massive, unlimited value in the look that you can create. All I've given you is the shape, the proportion of the flower, the kind of blueprint for that flower, and then you, with the techniques and things we're sharing, you can have a play and make it your own, make it whatever you want, however you want it to look. I think that is super cool. A different look that we can create is if you want to just go ahead and have a loose sketchy style, you can create a line that looks a little bit like this. If you want to use a brush pen, look at how bold that looks and think, whoa, that's a bit in your face, Sheena. I don't know about, I'm not sure. Might like it, don't know if I do like it, but have a look at this in card form. When you see it put into, into effect, this is one of Debbie's cards. Look at that. Look, if I bring that up, that flower has got its style. It looks a little bit like brush art. They absolutely beautiful. Look at the weight of the line that Debbie's got underneath here, and that's what a brush pen can do with you. It looks completely different to my original cross-hatched and hatched shaded version. Absolutely stunning. You can then just say, hey, you know what? I haven't got loads of stuff yet. I'm just starting off. I'm just, or I haven't travelled with lots of whatever. I'm, in the caravan, I'm in the van, whatever. I'm off for a nice little weekend, and all I've got is a pencil. That's what you can do with just one pencil. That was either an HB or a 2B pencil. That was even a mechanical pencil. So they're not really meant for fine finesse art. Any pencil will do. It doesn't have to be mechanical, as long as you got to remember to sharpen at the same time. And if you look at my Facebook page, I've done that. If you have a look, there's a live to show you. There's also a live showing you how to do the scribble colouring. That's so much fun. That's with a little bit of watercolour in the background and using scribbly fine liners, gel pens. Another look here, using the over stamp. That's with your gilding flakes. Absolutely fabulous. Lots and lots to play with. Let's talk about now the backing papers. So we'll pop that to one side. Let me show you how we can change the look of these. The backing papers, it was important not just to have the designs. All these designs were created by yours truly. I've used images from the main collection so that it is in harmony with what you've got. I've muted them, I've diffused them, I've layered them with textures, and I've made them look cool. Straight out of the box, they look super cool. So if you look at this one to start off with, but the most important thing, well, not the most important, but the super important thing is I had to have the right card paper. This is a heavyweight, it's a thin card actually. It's more like a thin card than a paper, and it takes ink. That's hugely important because the play bit is carrying through. So the backing papers, we're still playing, but important to see if you're a newbie and you just want to make a quick card, or you want to just have something that looks great out of the box, thank you very much, I'll just do that and I'll pop it on there. I'm happy, I'm good to go. You are sorted. Even that pencil sketch one, let me see if I can find that pencil sketch. Look, if you pop that on there, you put a pencil sketch on there, pop that on there, that's a fabulous card. That little bit of black matting on there, you're done. I've done nothing to it, but we're going to start inking it. So look, a little bit of distress ink. Oh, I've designed it so that you've got 3 cool neutral colours and 3 warm neutral colours. There's really desaturated, there's hardly any colour in there, but what there is a hint of a grey tone or a browny tone. So on the grey tone, you would use your blues, your greens, your cooler purples, turquoise kind of colours. On the warm tones, that's where you're going to use your reds, your yellows, your oranges, and warmer greens, which means they've got more yellow in them. And as you can see here, this is just Bundle Sage and the Kitsch Flamingo, using an applicator like that. The trick is a little bit of glycerin on till we'll dilute it a bit so you don't get a pop of strong colour. And again, there's tutorials on my Facebook page. We'll be doing more here. We'll be doing lots and lots more tutorials. So that's the first one. 2 inks. Thank you very much. Look at how it's transformed. Isn't that cool? Right, so what about another one? Let me show you. I kind of give the game away there. Don't look at that one. You haven't seen that one. All right, the next one. We have got another abstract. Kind of looks like cracked ice. You can see the shadow, the impression of that floral in the background. But look. Whoa. About 3 inks there, a couple of greens and a bluey colour. Again, distress inks. There's not the oxides. The oxides are more opaque. So with the regular distress inks, you'll see more of the pattern in the background. Next one. Right, now I've just building this up. We haven't gone in with stencils yet at all. We've just used inks, but from that to that. So we've used a little bit of mustard seed, a little bit of spice marmalade, a bit of rusty hinge in that. And I've gone over the top with the stencils that you haven't seen yet, using a VersaFine clay for that pop of intense black colour. Right, next one. So again, the papers, look, I love that paper. I just think that is so pretty. Again, look, that and that. Oh, that is a stunning card. If you pop that down there so you see the reflection, it's kind of mirroring what's going on down there. I would love that card any day of the week. And I'll tell you what, if you overstamp that with that clear ink and that clear sparkle embossing powder, wow. With a pencil and a backing paper, you've done nothing too. But if you want to do a little bit more to it, check it out. Wow. Woohoo. So here's the thing. I wanted it to look full on mixed media without the mixed media products where you have to maybe buy the products that we think of mixed media on a canvas. With this, distress inks in the background again. Dry it. This here stencils using just your white gouache that if you watch me and follow me, you know I love a bit of white gouache for the highlights, just for regular stamping. So you'll have that in your kit. Sponge through the stencil with your sponge applicator again. Dry it. Then this here is just some glycerin. If you use glycerin on your sponge applicator and sponge through, it'll act as an ink, an embossing ink. And it doesn't mean you don't use your embossing ink pad because you need that for your fine stamp embossing. It just means it's going to be a bit of a money saver for you and you get more ink on there more quickly. By ink, I mean glycerin, because it will hold the embossing powder when you remove your stencil. And then, still going, I think this is my favourite, Marie. I love this one. So I love that paper anyway. I know it's my papers, but you know, I don't get a chance to do papers very often at all. Maybe a couple of times before, and I'm loving. We're going to bring you more. If you like them, let me know. Let us know. We'll bring you more. And let us know if you like this concept where we've given you kind of that neutral, so you play on top of it. Look, again, looks great as it is, but wow! Look at that. What happened to that one? From that. Very subtle, bit classy, bit understated, a bit like myself. No, that's more me, I think. Yeah, a bit more in there, in your face. Here it is. Embossing powder, distress inks in the background. Again, sponge applicator, flamingo, bit of yellow in it, like that. Dry it, then use the white gesso again with your stencils that are in the set. This is why you see where everything, when it's brought together, just works. I have got another one, last one to show you here, the bee. And that's the bee there, the bee paper. And I can't believe I've left that one till last because, you know, again, it is the day of the bee. So from that to that one. Full on, full colour. You know, just cut that down, trim it down and put some wording on there. You got a card. You can bling up these bees. You can do it. You really don't need to do anything else to it. I wanted to give you value for money right the way along through the whole of this range. This is the one I've just popped on there for just to let you see how without a little bit of black soot or maybe pumice stone around the outside and then a little bit of just embossing on there with the stencils instead, moving on to the stencils. You've got a fabulous background there. Again, I keep bringing out this same one. I just think the fact that it's just graphite pencil and it looks that good on a card like that. Really? Yeah, if you want to go a bit more, you know, woohoo, opulent, you've got your card there. Another one here using the warm, can you see? The cooler and the warm tones. So on here, I've used a copper embossing powder with a different stencil over the top. And look at that. That looks like it's from some kind of stately home, doesn't it? I'll tell you who would probably send that card. Yeah, Lawrence Llewellyn type, I reckon. He's frilly cuffs. He'd be loving that. That beats right up his street, I think. That kind of thing. So, just quickly mention something else that, just to show you, with the stencils, Lou will show you the stencils, take you through them. They work the same as other stencils, but the idea is I wanted to leave them quite open so that they are also a blueprint. So what you've got here is a gorgeous effect there with that, so that you can see that that's also working for you. And that's it. Thank you very much.